Sometimes Harry Winter hated his job, and today was one of those days. Even though it was October and the days were supposedly shorter, he'd still been woken up at some ungodly hour to help out on the farm, which might involve feeding the livestock, milking the cows, mucking out the stables, or any one of the other million jobs he couldn't actually remember agreeing to do. Still, he couldn't complain. Not really. He was doing it all for his father, after all. Life hadn't exactly been easy on either of them since his mum had died, and they were managing to get through it all, somehow. Together. One day at a time. Though it never really helped when some of those days seemed to drag more slowly than others. Take today, for instance. Morning now seemed like a lifetime ago, and Harry hadn't exactly achieved a vast amount in that time. At least it didn't feel like he had. Not that his job for the day had been a particularly easy or exciting one. He'd been sent out to scour the fields, looking for stones and rocks, anything that might help repair some of the walls around the farmyard. He'd even taken a wheelbarrow out with him, just in case he got lucky. But there wasn't anything out there to get lucky with. Just pebbles and grit and dirt. Nothing you could use to mend a wall. No, for a job like that, you needed something heavier, bulkier, more substantial. That's when it struck him. There was a landmark just outside the village, like a mound of rocks heaped together in the middle of nowhere. No one could ever remember why they were there, just that they were. Had been for as long as any of them could remember. Lucifers Tombstone, they called it. For years now it had been one of those strange sites steeped in local legend and superstition. Swamped in the kind of stories conjured up to make an otherwise unremarkable, some might even say boring little village seem somewhat more exciting than it actually was. At least that's what Harry Winter had assumed before today. As he trudged through the thick, sloppy mud beneath his feet, he could just about see the sun dipping away behind the hills ahead of him, its golden glow slowly giving way to darkness. Somehow, an entire day had already passed him by, but he could still be quick. He knew where he was going, after all, and when he got there, he realized that the mound wasn't quite as large as he had remembered, so it would take him even less time to shift. If only he'd thought of this earlier. Harry started heaving the rocks across to the wheelbarrow as quickly as he could, placing them gently on top of one another, trying to make them balance somehow. But they never did. He never even noticed the earth stir beneath him until he went to shift the final layer, by which point it was already far too late. A hand thrust through the soil without any warning, cold and clammy, knocking him off his feet, its long claw-like fingers clutching onto the remaining rocks for support as a second hand burst up, twitching alongside it. Harry watched in horror as some unearthly creature hauled itself up from beneath the ground, grunting and growling, watching him as it rose from its grave, covered in grime, reeking of decay. He tried to run, but couldn't. His legs refused to move. Then he heard the creature laughing.